All right, we are rolling. We are rolling.
Yeah, we're rolling, everybody. Whoa, woohoo. All right, so you gotta get off the table.
Yeah, I was gonna roll.
You were gonna roll.
I'm gonna roll
Oh,
off
that
the
would have been interesting. I would have liked to see that. Yeah. All right. Anyway, okay. So last class we just did some video stuff. That was more put together. Here, in that class, we didn't have time to work on what O'Shea wanted to work on, which was the disappearing hands, and as well I would like to work on straight punches, and maybe we get into some position training, range and stuff. So on the disappearing hands, before I even start, do you know or what the strategy is for the disappearing hands? Now, it's in the setting, disappearing hands, right? What's it do? Why would you use it? Also, when you talk about blocking going in or blocking off of somebody, that also has worked. So disappearing hands works this way, right? So it's also the same as punching, right? The other punch, female punch, we call it, the yin punch, which is the more advanced style of punching, as opposed to this punching or this punching, right, with fists. Of course, open hand technique coming into it is in play. So what is the purpose of disappearing hands? And what do you think the purpose is?
To disappear your hands, to short circuit the opponent.
Okay, so that's an interesting, disappearing hands, you used the right word there, okay, and to short circuit the opponent, all right? Okay, how's that do that?
When your hand is here and suddenly it's not,
You're also striking with that hand. You can also strike with the other hand, all right? What else does it do? All right, so you have to understand how.
They can't see it coming if it's coming from nowhere.
Well, the idea is to short circuit them, but in a street fight, it's a little bit different. It works differently in a street fight, all right? It's really not necessary to actually do that in a street fight. When you're going down, if you're fighting from the street, it would just be short little movement and coming in. It doesn't have to be what you're practicing as you're practicing the move. So the practicing the move is what you guys are so bad at. So how do you set yourself up to actually practice that move? So disappearing hands is a lot of force coming down. So whether the force is this way, or it's this way, or it's this way, or it's this way, right? All of those venues are where you're going to launch your attack from. Okay, so the further down you go, further range you have. That's what I'm saying on the street, it's just here and move, and it moves. So you see how slight this was? This was really slight, but still I use disappearing hands. It came from here. So if I'm standing, it comes here. Right? If I'm taking this and I'm coming down, then it's going to launch from here. So it's also designed to see which way you want to move or punch. You understand that? Right? Okay. So if he's out here, right, and he's got his hands up, right, like he's fighting. First, other parts here, I could come in. I could come in with the hands. So this would be the short one. Then move, you see? You see where the other one came here? All right? So, it's great for knife defense, it's great for this, it's great not to do just the strategy of short circuiting your opponent because it's abracadabra, but it has to come from someplace. In order to do that, you guys have to be aggressively pulling yourself into your own vortex, into your own center. It always has to be present with you. And we'll just talk about root a little bit. Your root is here, but everything here rests on the root. When you guys do it, you don't have a stopping point. So it has to have a stopping point. Now, it'll be a little bit easier when we prepare you guys off and you can start to practice it a little bit. But it has to have a stopping point, right? Or it can completely disappear. Victor's out here, and he's got his hands up, and I'm coming from here, and I go this way. You see where I'm down here? down here, it's like boom, and it comes out. So that's a lengthy move down. But still, I'm pulling from here. And then this, I just want to come in and move, right? So you start coming in with these different things. So the first part of disappearing hands is when you're looking at your opponent, you're setting them up. You're also seeing the gaps and the holes that you have. And you're also creating an illusion to your opponent, which gets more into like the ninjutsu and stuff like that there, where you're coming in and you're masking yourself movement, but it doesn't have to be so extreme as when you're in your practice. But when you're practicing it to get the idea of it, you should actually know how you're pulling into yourself, and it's very, very powerful. Is everybody following me so far? All right? So when you're practicing it, it's almost like you're grabbing the fabric of space, and you're grabbing it and you're pulling it into your own hand, and then it stops. It has a stopping point. At that stopping point is where you're launching. Right? So when you guys are doing disappearing hands, it's like this here. I don't know what you guys are doing, right? It's just this way here, because you're not seeing the power in the motion down. Down motion, Master Ford, talked about that a lot in the combat jiu-jitsu. Down motion is very, very important. I like Master Ford. He says, hit him with love, which is exactly what I do. Because you're moving on, right? That's how it rise. But the whole point of motion here, if I'm coming here, and I'm not just practicing this way. When I'm practicing it, I come into my center, and it's down, you see? It has a direct stop. Now, if I'm doing something elongated, like when you were trying to show it before, and I come here, it still has a stop. So now I'm drawing the pistol. Right? So if you're out here, right, and you got a position, all right, first of all, I'm monitoring his position. Get over so you can see. Get off the table. I know you're tired. You had a rough day. Dealing with the seafood all day. And he's got to go and he's going to sit on the other.
Exactly.
Sometimes I just really want to take his eyes. All right, so here it's being lined up, right? So if I'm here and I disappear this way, then my hand, boom, comes in here, you see? If I disappear here, I'm going to move, you see where I'm playing? Then it comes up. That was the elongated one. But still, it comes down, boom, and I have that, and this is also lined up. So anytime you're fighting, you're also going to protect your center, because one hand's got to replace the other. So disappearing hands doesn't simply mean that I'm going like this here and giving them my whole face. It's overall whole body movement. All right? If I take it short range, here, it just moves here. So it turned, from here it turned to a back and a straight punch. Then, two chops. And then right here, this chop in particular went through all of his so-called armament, and it hit this way. See? Like an Egyptian chop. Maybe that's what we'll call it, right? So boom, it hit like it. If I take it and I angle it this way, then I'm going to send his jaw. So it's not just about speed, it's about where your power is launching off from. All right, thanks. So when you guys practice it, everything has to come into your center. Right? So you get your speed, it has to have a drawing point from wherever your down motion is. Now again, my down motion could be this way. My down motion could be this way. My down motion could be this way. And it's coming out from here. So if Julia's out here, right, and she's standing, she's got her hands up, if I take my down motion, I'm here. You see where I came this way? Right? Right? And then end up with a back fist. Okay. So it will increase your speed, your power, but also disappearing hands means disappearing hands. It does short circuit the person in front of you. They don't know, but on the street, is it really necessary to do that? You know what I mean? You won't need to do that. The short ones, you don't need the long ones unless you're fighting a more experienced person and you want to play with it a little bit. You know, somebody that has skill sets that you're standing in front of and then you're going to be working with, you know, somebody that's a little bit, coming at you a little bit harder, or is just a better fighter, you know, whatever. But on the street, you want to make it short, quick, and come in, you know. So if you're out here, right? So we're out here, and he starts moving. We're moving. Boom! You see where that hit came? So now I saw the, and then this one's going to follow right after. Because on the street, talking about street art, whatever it is, you're not fighting in a ring. You're not doing all this, you know. Both people in a ring are coming at you. But on the street, a person usually isn't retreating from you. They're coming at you. They're angry. They want to murder you. They want to do something. And that's where you're going to have all that movement. That's what we're going to work on a little bit today. You guys actually moving and using it. So, let's practice it. So the first practice, what we're going to do to practice it, so you're really concentrating on your center. Sometimes we get in chairs, coming from a chair, because a lot of fighting comes from the chair, is I just want you to take your hands and bring them up. From here, let's do the short range. So this has to tighten up. Short range means this way. You see where I'm coming down? Right here. This is also disappearing hands as opposed to this way. Okay? They're all the same method. But the short range has as much power as the long range goes, but the long range has to travel further, and it's also more mass for like doing takedowns, you know, setting a person up or throwing what I do with the gravity takedown. So just standing here, if you guys could just stand, do this, right? So you should feel everything here and in your forearms. When you strike here, this stays boom, and then it stays, that power of what you're coming down with stays in your hands, in your arms. It doesn't go anywhere. So here, boom, it stays. So you're hitting with also your core, your root. You see how you did shoulder, right? Do the two, do 1, 2, because you guys been practicing a little before we do the long ones. And I think maybe you're getting a little bit confused about how you would fight with this. Go ahead. So, remember your energy walls, guys. When you're doing your strikes, strike at the same range, because you're also practicing your range. See how you have no power coming out? It's more of a push. All right, stop for a second. It's not, you know, you're getting there. Think of a snake or a praying mantis, right? When they're attacking, when they're doing what they're doing, they're looking, right? When they get to a point, so a praying mantis is faster than a snake. So they're harder to stop. Thank goodness they're just really tiny. They're harder to stop, you know, but a snake has venom, right? So here, when a snake strikes, it will strike, but it will core itself, and then it strikes from that core. So a guy who's very good at dealing with snakes his timing is better. He deals with snakes, he's been bitten 1,000 times. When the snake cores, he'll watch that, and it forms a straight line of attack. So all he does is like you watch it, and it just slaps it on the head as it's going. It's pretty cool, right? Because he knows what's happening. Praying mantis now moves much faster and much more accurate with, has a little bit of design, because a praying mantis, it's moving, right? You ever seen a praying mantis attack something, truly attack something? Not when you see in the movies where they're fighting each other. Yeah, just lining up, it just lines up, and it's rocking, and then it stops, and then it stays still. This is where it attacks from, right? Bam! And it comes out really fast, super fast, almost as fast as me, right? So the whole point of moving this way is when you got these short motions, you want to take it from here, so all of this stays in. But what's happening with you, because you know you're a fighter, you know you're pushing your punch. So you don't want to push your punch. You want to hit to the target and come back. That's real power. That's when you really start generating power. So the option of this is developing speed and power. It's not just disappearing. Is everybody following what I'm saying? So when you're standing here, just this for the back, this came out front. And you gotta be careful, because sometimes you can go so fast you can feel your bones go out through your skin. Right? So that's where you have to hold it. You have to come back. So if you're doing this from this exercise and you're pushing here, it's just from here, it stays. Right from here, it launches. And that's what you guys are having trouble. You're okay coming down, but when you launch, you do this, or it's like, it's too solid of a movement. If you take the snake, and you take the praying mantis, that in-between movement's invisible. Do you understand? That disappears. So, if the Hulk is out here, right, and he's standing, and he's a strong fighter. If I'm here, I move. This next move, it has to be a vapor. But it strikes from here. It's like on a tripod. So as I come here, boom, it strikes. Boom, it's hitting. If I take this and open it up, bam, I just open it. It's coming from wherever it's coming from, but it stays from here. It's being launched from here. Where you guys, thanks. Where you guys push it. So when you guys do this, you're getting a little bit better with this, but then you do this. Here should be weightless. Here, boom. Right? Boom. So let's try single hand. Right? You all following what I'm saying? Is, you know, you get it intellectually? All right. So single hand. In fact, whatever, take a stance wherever you're comfortable with. Get more of like a fighting stance, like dragon or bow or whatever it is. Lead hand. As you come down with this hand, whatever your lead hand's gonna be, you come down, and right from here, you hit. Now I want to show you something that you're not seeing. Okay? So here, watch when I do this. What did I do? There's actually another move in between that. So when I come in here, and I come out, you see, it sets. You see where I'm playing? Where it's playing? I'm more playful than you guys. Play with God, the Lord. You gotta be a little bit more, don't take it so seriously. You know, just have a movement, right? Try again, just one hand, just try one hand, go ahead.
Could you maybe do what you just did, see if it was slower?
What do you mean? You mean the single hand?
Play.
So here, play. So if I do fast, you see where I launched here?
Yeah.
Then it came here, then it came out.
Okay.
You see? There I did double swings. Like I have all this little movement in between. That's the playfulness. It's not so direct. Plus, in your fighter, like the kicking that we do, especially in weapons, you want to be able to transform it right in action. Even though the opponent doesn't know that, you'll know it. So in other words, if Alex is standing out here, and I'm here, right? I go here, then it transfers, action comes this way. Boom, and that's when you could come in. And you know me, I like red zone fighting and coming right in. So you gotta be a little bit more looser with the movement and play with it, and where you guys are either too loose, it's like, even if I'm doing this here, it's all down. I'm playing with it. And this is where the action's gonna come out, and also where you can design your hands to be these tools to come out in many different ways. Punching, open hand, hitting, grappling, going in. So you're reading your opponent. So if he's out here, right, and on the street, it's very direct and very quick, right? But if he's out here and he's moving around, you see? He was already, I just launched it just on his first move. That's why this stuff you really can't use in a ring. But the whole idea of the movement, you can. So let's try one hand again. Let's see if you guys can get a little bit better with whatever hand. And then when you're a little bit with that, let's try the other hand. Just one single hand. Don't go to two for the moment. And picture your energy walls that you're hitting. That was a little bit better, Moshe. Right? No, you're doing 1, 2. Look at me. Watch this. Okay? My 1, 2. It's not 1, 2. 1, 2. If I'm here, boom, right? This is 1, 2. It's almost amalgamated into one move. That's the challenge of it. So you're doing 1, 2. Boom. Watch. Listen to my sleep. Right? How many movements did you hear in the sleeps? 3. sleeves, right? You too, sweater girl. That's not sleeves. You need these. What are these designed to do?
So you can hear 'em.
One, so you can hear
The cheap.
the cheap. Why don't you guys go out and get a top? Is that so hard for you to do? They have Amazon now. From now on, you guys are wearing tops, especially working this stuff. You're wearing your top, you're wearing your top. You guys get a kung fu top. Or some kind of top, I don't care if it's a gi top, something that makes a sound. So you can the sound helps you practice. None of these are doing, like you hear 3 movements with the sound. All I hear is you going. Because it snaps back. So that means in that sound, my sleeve is hitting this way because of the force of the motion. The other part of it is to keep the heat in your muscles. I hear you, it's to keep your muscles warm, to keep everything active. You ever go to a Madonna's concert? I've never been at one, but I hear from people that are in the front of the line when she used to do her concerts would stop going to the front because it was so freaking hot. Why'd she do that? To keep her muscles warm. Smart. So everybody that danced with her was on the set was sweating like pigs. But she didn't want to she wanted to also keep herself from injury. You get a top, you get a top. Right? A kung fu top. Or something loose. Something that has this kind of material. This thing's like over 30 years old. Right? Right? So you could practice better. So I could hear, you could hear your 1, 2, 1, 2. That's a little bit better, right? So here comes the idea of combat, bless you, is to have speed and power, right? Next time you hear, you better have a top. Right? You too. You have a gi top, get a gi top. Something big. Kubigam, Australian Kubigam, you got those freaking huge pants, you could get a top to go with it. But when it's snap, it doesn't have to be buttoned, you can have it loose. The idea is to have the sleeves. Look, I can have this, I'm losing weight, my pants are having a hard time. Because I stopped all sugar, I'm having a hard time with my pants now. Maybe you'll be able to fit them when I throw you other clothes. So if I'm here, my top's, I'm here, boom. The kicks work the same way, right? You want to have quick, sharp movement, and you want to be able to read your opponent. If my opponent's out here, right, and he's got his hands up like he likes to fight, and he's coming at me, you see, this is where I'm reading at. See the block? Because he's already telegraphing this. He went to throw it, boom. That could be a fake, that's why we keep all the blocks closed, and then I'm just going to bury his ass with a leg or with my hands. Alright? Get back in there. Get back in your spot. Get a top. And don't give me excuses that you can't get a top. That's bullshit. Alright? Find something. Make one. Get your mom to knit something. I don't know. Get out there and get a top.
It doesn't need to close.
Yes, it doesn't need to close, and you can get it. What about those jiu-jitsu tops that do you have to dress when you're manis?
I do, but it's white.
Well, we're white. I don't care what color it is. I don't care if it's the color of the rainbow. Feel the rainbow. Touch the rainbow. Get hit by the rainbow. Whatever you gotta do. But these work, and I can hear how bad you are. Right?
Do you need to hear it though? Can't you just see?
I can see it, but you need to hear it. You need to see that what you're doing. That's the idea of practicing. The other purpose of this is for sparring. What is sparring?
Spar?
Yeah, what's the purpose of sparring?
To equal out your opponent.
Very good. Right. It's not about beating your opponent, it's about practicing with your opponent. So it's about always being in the stalemate, right? To become your opponent. If you're better than your opponent that's in front of you, you just become a little bit better. You see how robotic you are? Systems within systems means what? It means an amalgamation of systems within your whole body physical being. We okay on batteries and stuff?
Yeah.
This stuff works, man. Rainbow,
I'm gonna tie-dye it.
that's fine. I don't care what you guys wear. You can come in with a bozo hat. As long as you're doing what you're doing, right? Getting this down. So, yeah. He's lucky today he wore his top. You know, he doesn't look like a criminal. Right? You're always with your top. Ben's always in his top. You guys need to get him. You need to get him to practice at home. You need to sweat a little bit too. You know, and go keep practicing. Julia, that's not bad. It would be better if you had a top so I could hear it. Right? And so you can hear it, all right? Okay? All right? There's a purpose behind it. Right? You're gonna need, I take extra large. I don't know now that I'm down with my no sugar, maybe I'll shrink a little bit. But you're gonna need, I can never get it to fit around my chest.
No, my fingers slammed into my thumb.
Oh yeah. Self-injury. Okay, I'm gonna tell you about that. You know, sometimes you're moving so fast you hit yourself in the head. All right? You gotta always know where you're at. If you really get caught up, boom, it comes back and attack. But you still stop that because you don't want to knock yourself out. When it happens, you'll know it.
It came out like a phoenix out and my hand kind of.
Came back. Yeah, you can do a lot of self-damage to this. This is very powerful stuff.
Just kind of flicked myself.
Good. You bleeding?
No. Just flicked
Because
myself.
if you were, you could just throw it at you.
I was just rubbing on.
You just rub it on. Go ahead, guys. Take one hand, just one hand for the moment. And then when you got that, so look, if I'm coming down, you're coming down far. If that's the way you want to practice it, that's fine. I'm saying short. But if you're coming down far, this is far. So in here, it's like, see? You hear 2 snaps on that if I'm doing that. The snapping will help you gauge how fast you're going and how the punch goes. The other reason, when I said about sparring before, that you wear sleeves, it's easier to see. So if I'm working with you, if me and him are out here working and we're sparring, if I'm throwing something, he could see it. When you have no sleeves, it's harder to see, and you want to aid the person that's there because they're practicing blocking and stuff like that. So it has a purpose with that as well. Okay? So I give you all the purposes of wearing a top. Rainbow. All right? One hand, guys, one hand. All right, so now let's try something. Let's have Vic and you stand in front of each other. You stand in front of each other. Okay, so now if I take Moshe, the Hulk, he's out here. I want you to practice this single hand at 2 different ranges because you seem to just throw the hand down all the time. Yeah, all right? So it's about grabbing here and then throwing from there. So I'm grabbing the sheet of subatomic particles, bringing it in, and I'm condensing it in my hands, creating that explosion coming out.
Does it empty before you punch?
What do you mean?
The hand.
If it's a punch, no, it stays through the whole thing.
Okay, so as soon as you kind of,
It stays.
it just stays with
So
that.
if I'm coming with this here, and I'm hitting, it stays here, it stays right here, and hits. And I'm just love tapping it, just tapping. If I'm coming, boom, this way, it's like his brain's gotta go against the wall over there, because it's just gonna just gather them. So if I wanna go here, so I'm here, and I'm here, and I come in here, and I hit, boom, I have to get out of the way. Because what's gonna be coming out of there, and I had to happen, get the hell out of the way.
So, when
So-
just when you come into the disappearing hand, I'm not talking about when you're striking in general, specifically when you're coming off the
Oh,
disappearing hand.
open,
So when you come down here, right, you have that,
it stays, but you can open it again.
that's what I'm asking.
You could play with that, what you could playful with it,
Okay.
but you could see, I'm here. If I open a technique, it comes to a
So-
chop.
That's, I guess, where I feel like I get stuck, is I come down here and it just doesn't want to move.
Well, the more that you start practicing it, the better coordinated you'll get.
Okay.
It's really about getting this to do what you want it to do.
Okay.
The mini brains of the body.
But like,
You,
when you're
you
coming-
tense too much.
yeah, when I'm coming off of that movement, I feel like I'm very.
That's why it has, okay, that's a good thing. That means you're not building enough on your center.
Okay.
You're not projecting from here. Like the snake and the praying mantis we were talking about, they come in the center. So if he's standing here and I'm doing praying mantis, you see where I'm coming with my center? So all this movement, so all this motion is all boom. So we're moving. I just took out his eye, I come over here, which is what I want to do, right? I just move it in. So we're moving. He's coming. This is zoom. Both hits are here because I'm coming from my center, and that's open. That's praying mantis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, dealing with praying mantis, crane does a little bit of that too, but mostly snake and praying mantis.
Yeah, but
You not projecting from here, you're projecting it here.
okay.
You
Yep,
see?
makes sense.
You see?
Mhm.
It's not coming into here. So when you do it, or when you do it, or when you do it, Julie is okay. She has more natural yin. We'll say when she gets to top. Where snaps are coming. Alright, so here, I'm not going this way, see, which is what you guys are doing. Or when you do the short, stubby ones. Like, because all the tension is coming from your shoulder and your arm instead of like. So, if I'm releasing it, it's kind of like Dragon Ball Z. I'm projecting my energy. If you look at like gamma rays, right? And he's standing here, and he said, get over here, because you're the physicist, right? He's standing here. He's got 100% of the solid organic material. I'm 100% of my solid organic material. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to project that material into him. So it off-centers him. So I always look at it like I'm 100%, he's 100%. And you can gauge that by different fighters as well. Who you stand in front of. Bigger guy, stronger guy, whatever. So here, boom, I hit. I'm hitting, I'm just overloading his system. So basically, I'm projecting energy. Right? So when you hit something, there's an energy field between what you're hitting, especially organics, and you, and it's in there. And you project that, boom, into them, and that's when we get into the percussion punch, which is kind of what you're learning right through this, which is where you got to increase your speed and stuff. But if you're looking to just hit, that's how you break your hand. So if I'm hitting somebody's head, I'm not going to hit you in the head, but you know, I do want to hit you in the head, right? If I'm hitting somebody in the head, I hit them here, and then boom, projects from here. The hit's on the back motion.
Yeah.
Your hit's always on the forward motion. You can't help it because you're a fighter, and you're a fighter, and you're, I don't know, a physicist that's studying gamma waves. And I get over there. So the whole point of coming into this point, if I'm hitting to it, it's almost like I'm throwing an energy ball out to my opponent. Just, kind of talking about it as a symbol, But literally, you are projecting energy. Everything's made up of energy. And I'm hitting energy with energy, and I'm overloading your energy. That's why when I touch you, why you feel it. It's nothing mystical, it's just science.
Yeah.
Right? You're a
Yeah.
scientist,
Okay.
it's just science.
But see, I'm specifically talking about just coming out of that movement. That's
You
just
got to
from-
center.
Okay. Alright.
Try it. Let's try it against somebody. Let's put you two together and you two together. Come on here, guys. Come on here so I can see what the hell you're doing. So what you're going to do is I'm going to work with Vic, right? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try some different angles. So he's going to take a stance. He's out here standing. I'm going to kind of see my range. Now remember, you're going to be hitting your energy wall. So here's the other important part. What is energy wall is, so when I'm practicing, I am practicing with the same momentum, same power and speed I would use in real life. So practice doesn't mean, oh, one day I'll get there. One day I'll be behind the bushes doing my forms and I'm going to start glowing.
That's not what I'm doing behind the bushes.
I don't want to know. So the whole point is, it's like, you get to that point. It's now, guys, it's in the now. So your energy walls have to be here. So if I'm doing it like when I first did the punches in that last video we did, I stayed away from it. I came a little bit closer, it was just tapping you in the skin, which worries me a little bit. But when I'm practicing, here's the silhouette. Now all he's got to be doing is standing there, and then maybe he may take a different position down the road. But what I want you to do is different points with one hand, then you switch to the other side, go to the other hand. So here, I'm here, right? By hitting here. So when boom, I'm hitting, I'm feeling how that hit would react if I'm hitting somebody in real life. You have to practice it, which you do because that's where you feel that push, right? So if I'm here and I go this way, what did I do here? This. It was a snake hand. He stands here, and I go this way. I just took all my fingers and I put it over, and then boom, and it comes over here. Then I go to the jaw. Because every reaction causes a different action within the human body. And that's where you start getting a little bit technical, you start really seeing what it is. So a person like Vic is out here moving, I just took his groin out. I already know where that's gonna happen, right? That's what we talk about surrounding. You guys can get very good at this. So when you're here, Vic, you're down. At this point, it has to be boom. So you could even be playful. You see how I came down with my tap again? Here, boom. I could be a little bit playful. Don't be, why so serious, right? I like the Joker. Why so serious? He's right. Batman's as stiff as a board. Now watch him. The Joker's got some movement. Batman would lose in a fight if he didn't have a freaking armor all over him. I never kill anybody. Yeah, you hit things with those spear hands. You didn't kill that guy, right? All right. Go ahead, guys. Start practicing. One hand first, then switch. Go to the other hand. So do it like maybe 5, 6 times, whatever it is, and let the other guy go, and just get an idea of practicing. Then we'll move to 2, and then we'll have you start moving. You know, start moving around, dancing with it a little bit, right? Go ahead. I need some water. Or some sake. Julia bought me sake. One, two. 1, 2. 1, 2.
1, 2.
No, you're going 1, 2.
No.
Come over here. Here's you. You can stand there. You see how this thing's all amalgamated to this? It's not 1, 2, like single counts.
Is there a little bit of like circularity to it?
Yes, you could play. That's what I mean. Be playful. That's where your natural yin could come in. And soft always beats hard, but it has to combine with yin and yang. So if I'm hitting something here, I hit soft, no. I'm hitting hard, I'm hitting here, boom. Then this is coming in and this is coming in. So we're fighting, I'm just gonna bury him. I'm relentless, like the honey badger or the badger. I'm just relentless. Yeah. When I fight back in the day, I mean, I used to climb on people.
Bite their heads.
I did. I did like back then.
Kiss, dude.
2 minutes. I never kissed anybody.
Never? That's
Unless it was within the
Alright,
the room
let's
of
go.
finding a Klingon woman. Yeah, maybe. See where you're jerking your body too much. Rick. So you're adding excess movement. Any combat has to be, less movement. The shorter and the sharper your movement is, the more direct it's going to be. That's not too bad. From where you're at, Hope, that's better. Be better with the sleeve so I can hear it, and you can hear it, but that's not too bad. So that one was a little more of a push. So no matter what you're throwing, you're moving around a little bit.
Yeah, see, we're going back to what Vic was asking now. When you come down in the fist, between here and there, does it loosen up a bit?
No,
No.
no.
Once it's a fist here, it's just a fist.
It stays wherever it is. You have to stay present. You have to be present to the whole movement. So
So in a way, the punch really.
the punch is still rooted to your center.
Yeah.
It never leaves. Sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Only
People
sometimes.
call on when noise got nuts. Mountains don't. I think that's how. So here, I'm here. Boom. And then you see how it immediately switches to here, this center. So boom, I'm right. All this movement comes in, and it's not what you see like these guys in the movies do, and on your videos, because most of the time you can just stick out your hand and stop that. You can stop it. It's just flash. So I could be doing all this stuff coming from. It's all direct. Praying mantis, man, he's flashing, but he takes them out. Snakes, they take them out. Cranes are just scattered energy, which it's hard to stop a crane. I saw 2 videos. One video where the crane's fighting a tiger, and the tiger just got frustrated. He couldn't get him. A tiger, I can't stand in front of a tiger. This little skinny bird is fighting a tiger. And the true story behind Crane is an ape attacked the crane, and the crane poked out his eye. I mean, if the ape got a hold of him, you know, yeah, okay, bye-bye, TV dinner. But he didn't get a hold of him. He just snapped, and finally the ape, with his missing eye, right, just said, screw this, I'm leaving, and left. And the crane just went on about his business. Man, a crane, you could take him to that and snap him, right? So yeah, there you go. So everything has to be a little bit more playful. You guys, when you stand in front of your opponent, you have to understand presence. That's when it gets into the soul and the spirit and all that of your own body matrix. But you have to understand your body matrix and the energy that you project from it, that is within. If you think about death, you guys have all seen death. Vic's seen more than his fair share of that. The battery's gone. Ever seen death? Right? A person die in front of or get killed, the battery, whether they're cut open and stuff comes out or whatever it may be, the battery's gone. They're no longer there. But it's even more present when you see it in a person that's just laying their whole body. And I don't mean bloated and stuff like you see, you gotta put a pin in them. You know, like just laying there, it just happened. You don't see anything, it's kind of hard to fathom when you think about it. The energy in the body is gone. The body itself, organic, still keeps growing, still keeps doing just whatever it does, but the energy's gone. So the more playful you are with that energy, the more playful you're going to be in combat. Like the Joker says, why so serious? Now really, you guys are just so serious. You take yourself so seriously, which is one of the reasons why you have so much stress in your life. My God, everything you take seriously. Everything's serious. Instead of like, people at my job, and I have a hard job, not like what Vic has, because he's dealing with life and death, you know, but people can't, why are you so relaxed? You know, because I'm not relaxed, I just don't take it. I'm playing from my matrix. I'm playing from my center. What could you take from me? Except maybe if you're good enough, you can hit me in the head with a sledgehammer and I'll die. My matrix goes. My body collapses and my energy goes. But right now, I just don't look at life that seriously. There are things I want, you know, things I would like to have, but I'm an in the now guy. So he's standing out here, he's facing me, I'm in the now. Bam! I'm just coming in, and I'm gonna just tear him apart. And Mortal Kombat is about that. Mortal Kombat is about the first person who comes down with the sword. So Vic, just make sure you're the first person. Right? If you're facing another technician,
All right, Brady.
yeah. If you're facing somebody like a Manning or somebody like that there who's playing with you, he's just playing with you. But what's he doing? He's playing with you. Because he's looking at you and he's looking at you like you're like a freak, like a tiger, you're like puppies. You know, your puppies grow this way. You watch puppies grow? That's how you guys are growing, right? But it's a level of consciousness. So you gotta bring some philosophy into it as well. But here we are in combat, we're standing out here, boom, I'm already taking him out. So here's this famous, whoa, Bruce Lee punch. All right, so here, boom, I'm rolling, boom. It goes here. All of this I'm using. Remember, combat is really about also your visual, seeing where the person's coming from instantaneously. How far are those skirmishes away from your elbows? Do you know about them or have you completely forgot about them? Do they have a presence? They do. They have a presence within the material matrix. The more you become aware of it, the better it's going to be. And the matrix is always testing you. You're walking out the door, and your sleeve gets caught on it. It's just like, you idiot. You know? You're walking, and your pants get caught on the side of something, especially these sides. Get caught on something. It's just all there. It's all there for you to do what? Practice. Life is about practice. I'll try it again, guys, and then we're going to dance a little bit. So take two hands, or three. Punch like 2 or 3 times. So in other words, if he's out here and I go this way, I'm punching, see the short one? So here, if I want to go, I'm going to, see how I'm moving forward with it? If I go here, boom, I'm hitting here, bam! And you see that's how this connection is. In real life, his movement only may be this. So if I go here and I hit low and he just moves a little bit, that's what I'm going to use. That's also how you do gravity takedowns, which is what we'll be working on in the seafood classes. Right? Same thing. When you guys are actually going in on each other, it's a lot of fun. A little personal. All right, go ahead, guys, try it. Be playful. Right? Be playful with the movement. Don't be so serious. Let it come out. Amalgamate it into like one motion, but many motions in between. Not bad, Julian. See? A little playful. I mean, by nature, you're a very playful person. Sometimes a little too playful, but you know. And Papa, don't ever say sorry to the guy in front of him unless you knock him out. And you can say you're sorry later. You're out here, you're out there, you're doing what you're doing. You should be good enough not to hit him. That's what I'm saying. Your energy walls. Use your energy walls. Right? Your energy walls are in front. When you get better, you can come closer. No. It's not always breathing. Yeah. All right, so breath, guys. Breath.
Now you did it.
You're ninjas. I remember these cops telling me this story about these kids. These two cops I knew were telling me stories like, yeah, we got these two ninja kids. I said, what do you mean? He said, they were robbing houses and they were dressed up in their ninja outfits. I said, well, how'd they catch them? You could hear them. They had like chains on them. They had, all this stuff. They're walking around. They sounded like they were like a park. Ching, 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 ching. Anything that's in the movies. Almost anything that's in the movies. Almost. There are some movies I can recommend that are not, but there's all just flash. You see guys throwing the stars and stuff like that. You ever throw a star? You ever know what that's like? They're surgical steel.
They bounce.
No, I mean the real good ones, the ones like I have.
Don't they cut you?
Huh?
Don't they cut you?
Yes, you can't.
No,
Like in the movies, they just reach in and pull the stars out. No, the surgical steel ones, you reach in, you slice your finger open. The only way something like that works is to have it on guard, to be ready, like you already have it. Throwing knives is a little bit different. Using knives, that's why I like knives. All right, but you don't really want to throw your knife. You kind of want to keep it. You only throw it if you absolutely have no choice. When we get into weapons a little bit more.
What if I attach a little chain to it so I throw it and I yank?
Then you're watching movies. Shingen comes back. It's like like the whole nunchucks. If you don't know how to swing that back, you make one miscalculation with a nunchuck or anything, it's gonna hit you. It just, That's why knives usually I have the blade on one side and the flat part, so I always know where the knife is. Otherwise, you can cut your own hand off. Right? So real fighting, because when you're fighting something, you're not thinking about where the knife is. You can go and stab yourself in the gut. You gotta know. So what was I talking about?
Breath.
Breath. Oh yeah, your breath. Yeah. When I'm fighting here, my breath comes in again to my center. Into my center. It stays there. So I'm holding my breath almost through the whole thing. But the breath starts at the beginning. It stays in that pot boiling. I'm not doing it. That's nothing. I don't know what that is. Right? I don't even know what that is. Every now and then I go, just for fun. Because it's commercial. You're not fighting commercial. So if I'm here, my breath is in. It stays in. I'm not going, and you don't hear it before. I'm going, which I hear you through the whole thing. You sound like you're 100 years old. Right? There's no sound. No sound when you strike. There's no sound when you move. There's silence. Like you're in space. And there's no sound.
What about your sleeves?
Shut up. The sleeves, whatever's making the sound is good, but it should not be from your breath. You shouldn't be, that's just dogma. That's just bad training, which I had, years of that, which almost killed me. So the whole point is different breathing exercises as well. Once you have it, if I'm gonna breathe out, it stays there. It stays there through the whole motion. Why would I release my breath? It stays. And then I don't go, there's no power in that. You wanna keep the wind in your sails. I don't know what to do. Do you know what you're doing? Like you're breathing through the whole thing. You sound like a dog is attacking. Ever been attacked by a dog?
Yes.
They are nasty, right? They change, their voice changes. It sounds like a demon. Yeah. Sometimes you can do that too. If you want to scare your opponent, yeah. You could use it to scare your opponent. You could use motions here. I just projected my movement. Pretty scary, right? The whole idea of what's coming because you know what's coming after it. The sound. You ever watch somebody hit with a baseball, like from a mile away? You see that? You hear that guy swings the ball, going, then you hear a click. That's exactly how that works. So you can use that to an advantage too. But really, guys, you're fighting on the street. Unless you're back in Musashi's day where you're fighting, like you're standing, you're competing against another warrior. Today, everything's ring, everything's doing what they're doing, And another thing that people want me to talk about is form, Did you say form? You said form. Did you say form? I wanted me to talk about forms. Yeah. Forms is misinterpreted.
Did you say form?
Form, moving with form.
What's it for?
Forms are important because it's connected with your body matrix. That's all it is. Like I was making fun of you earlier when I said, oh, Vic's got to go practice behind the bush and he'd be practice something else. But the whole thing is
It's all kung fu. See?
all kung fu. It's all kung fu. Everything's a muscle. You gotta learn how to use it. Right? Everything's a muscle. You gotta learn how to use it. So my point here is form. Form is misunderstood because you're looking at these boneheads that are out there making these movies. Form's competition and movement. There are people that do forms like, oh my God, they're amazing. You know what they could do with their bodies and stuff like that. Can they fight? No. They can't fight. They just look amazing. Right? Form is about understanding. Now they have that perfection. If you taught them how to fight, it would be different. They think they can fight, but most of them kick you in the head and you're just standing there like, what was that? Form is about connecting body energy. That's all it is. Right? So now you guys are learning the 5-element form. That whole form represents death. That whole thing is death and rebirth. But you have to understand the movement because all those movements are strikes. It's not form. But what you use, how you would use it, how it would hit, how it would come. It's a deadly series of movements. That's different. And they're isolated and they're practiced. Form just moves, right? It just does what it's doing. Here. It just moves. Right? That's all it is. It's just about understanding your body matrix. That's all it is. And if you want to compete in competition and you get really good at forms like Jet Li or those people that you see with the wushu forms, they're amazing. When I watch those people, they're just amazing. I'm fighting them, I'm just going to walk. Yeah, it's just different. Mortal Kombat is different. And you take the guys that are fighting in the ring, and doing their thing, and they're strong. You can't be doing this in front of them. I do remember a fight, and I'll stop it with this so you guys hear. I do remember a fight where I was with the Bando people in Harlem years ago. And there's one guy, no. I'm not sure, but I think this opponent was Tari Gassel. If anybody knows who Tari Gassel is, Tari Gassel is a badass. It was just, we didn't know each other or meet each other, and I was just this one little skinny white kid. But he's out there, and the guy gets out, and he's doing all this stuff, and he just land-based it. Boom, 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 boom. Then he got out with Benny Arquides. Benny Arquides was out here like this here. He didn't know what to do against him. If Benny Arquides and them met in real life, it would be the first one with the sword. There was this big thing, you're always going to the ground, there was all these penalties, all this politics and stuff that came with it. But both of those guys are badasses. And they don't know how to fight unconventionally. So there's a difference. It wasn't form. Their form was centered. hard to stand in front of. You know, like two warriors really facing it out. Not all this stuff. So form is really about understanding, getting the brain, like how you can't connect. It's helping the form, helps you amalgamate your body better. It gets you to know and gets you to work with all the many brains in the body. It's not to learn fighting skills. It's about connection with your body. The fighting skills and the things that you are learning, like the knife fighting, the cane work, all of that, that's all death and rebirth. But every movement is singular. Every movement has its own consciousness. It's not just moving into it. And form can be the same way, but it's overall amalgamated. And you guys really have bad form. Right? All right, try it again. I'm going to try something a little different. All right? I want you to switch opponents. Work with somebody a little bit different and stand in front so you get a difference in the body. How are we on time? I can't tell what that's.
8 minutes before we want to take a break, do the 20 minutes.
If you want to do it.
Yeah, let's do the
Unless we covered everything here. But you want to get big out there and start biting people,
Exactly.
you know, whatever.
I'm very.
All right, so we only got like 8 minutes left. I want you guys to do something. So if he's out here, you bow to each other, and now he's got to move around, right? And he's got to stop you. Right? This is all you're doing. Right? You can see everything's coming through. Then the other guy goes. You have to hit your energy. Well, I just want you to get to move around with it a little bit, kind of see what it's like to move. And then the next episode is that you're both attacking each other at the same time. You got this? So if, let's have the two of you out here just experiment with a little bit. Vic, you got to go first, right? So you got to be on the attack.
So I'm using the disappearing hands with this.
Yes, you're using the disappearing hands, and you're trying to stop it. And you can see you didn't stop any of mine, I'm pulling a mile away, right? So you want to make sure you're hitting here. Watch those monkey arms you got, all right? Make sure you're hitting here, right? And you also got to watch your opponents. Also allow you to see how your opponents move, so you're working with a little footwork as well. So it's got to help you bring in some other variables into it. Go try it, Vic. All right? You just move, play, play. Now you go, Alex. Make sure you're blocking it. Look how Vic's blocking it. What's Vic doing? Nothing. So that's the how he wants to be. He's staying right there, so you're having a hard time getting through to him. So if he's standing here and he's doing that, you gotta right? You can play, guys, play. I just want you to don't be so serious. Have fun. Go ahead, you two go. Play. Both of these. The shirtless people. Feel like we're playing like tag, you know, like you have the shirts and the non-shirts. Just play a little bit, and then we'll stop, and then Alex will do whatever you want to do. You'll also notice how you're stepping, right? How, you know, you're coming in too close to your opponent. So you'll see, Alex, how, you know, that lead hand, he leads out to you. You seem to like to push your face against it. Not bad. Okay, not bad. Not bad for the hole, right? If you had sleeves on, I bet you'd be even better. She's just tearing you up. My God, man. She had two little knives in your hand. You'd be like the shish kebab, you know, like Love Machine. Next time I'll show you this technique. It just reminds me to bring the knives. What it's like just using a knife in your hand, or a pen, or a Starbucks straw. Come on, play, man, play. but you're not viewing your opponent. You're too busy wanting to hit your opponent, you're not looking at his overall being. You look at his overall being, his stepping and everything, where your eyes are focused is too direct. Right? So you want to have a little bit more playful in movement, and you're too serious with it. You guys are clashing a lot, right? Like fist hitting fist and stuff like that there. But it's not bad, guys. It's not bad for your first time out of the gate. And the reason I did it with you two is to make it just a little bit more playful. Because it puts a different pressure on you. You can also see that you guys keep your range. You keep on guard with your range. Nobody really wants to get close. What's the main rule of fighting?
Stay in the green zone? Or don't fight at all?
No, you have 3 levels of fighting. No, you guys can stop. We'll just end with this and then you can do it.
Gotta be in it to win it.
There's, yes, you gotta be in it to win it. Right, so there's 3 different levels of fighting. Green zone just means you're safe. There's a yellow zone, which you wanna try to keep it, which you guys are all doing yellow zone. Right, mostly yellow zone. And every now and then when you hit red zone, it was scary. Right? And that's why you need to construct your visual to see the whole body is moving. And maybe we'll work on that up and coming. But since you guys are moving that way, if these guys would have had sleeves, I would have had them move that way too. But I did like that the only things that were getting hit was your fist hitting your own fist. Fist hitting fist. So you did keep with the energy wall, so you were able to still practice with the same amount of power. So what I could see in Vic's power, because he has more experience fighting, he has a more fighting power than you do. You know, just, he's like more meat, because he's used to being sparring a lot. This was new for you, kind of, you know, different, but not bad. Not bad. All right, do your last 10-minute thing.